definitely do fourth gear power wheelies. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going over a 421 serval. It is ported by Redline Racing. He ended up building the motor and he dynoed it. The bike is on pump gas and it makes right around 90 horsepower and 50 torque. That's with an airbox, without pods, all right? So we'll just go over some of the mods that are on this bike. This thing is a blast to ride in the trails. It is super fun. You got plenty of power, and what's nice is that since it's on pump gas, you know, you're not spending 10 bucks a gallon on race fuel. So we'll start basically from the top of the bike and go over the stuff that we have. We have a LSR stem. I think it's a +2 and 1 if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Obviously Pro Peg bars. Yes, we have Asv C6 levers. See that? These are very nice because you could adjust them this way. And then of course you have your normal adjusting as well for the clutch side. With the brake side, you can pull this with this forward or back, and it will literally move this forward or more closer depending on how long your fingers are. We are using a stock thumb throttle on it, which is fine. It does have some lightened springs in there that I got for it, which does help a little bit because, you know, sometimes after riding for a little bit you do get a bit fatigued, and even though, you know, it is 235mm carbs, it does help a bit. So what else we got on this? Like I said, here's the C6 clutch lever. I mean, you could get the pair of the front brake lever and the clutch lever with the perch and everything else. It's around 200 and change, and it's worth it, man. These things are awesome. The curve on the lever right now, it's such a good feel on the curve. It's not like it's straight and then back. It's just a really good curve. It's probably the best that I felt out of the ASVs that I've used. And like I said, the fact that you could use this knob to turn it in or out to bring the lever forward or back more is great. And then of course you have more adjustment up here as well. You know, a normal tether, Pro Armor tether, which is good to have. You know, it's sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. If I'm really hauling the mall and fucking ramp on this thing, I'll wear it just in case. Just a polished gas cap. I need to polish it up because, like I said, this is the trail beater, so I haven't really done anything like that. And then you got this little chrome gas tank cover right here, which looks good. They also have a little temp gauge that sits on the top of the radiator. The radiator is an oversized eBay radiator that's cheap, and I've been using them on all 3 of my quads for years now with really, you know, with not really any issues at all. So you can't go wrong using one of those, and they fit pretty good too, which is great. Obviously we have some white full bores on here, full bore plastics. If you buy a new set nowadays, obviously this grill won't look the same because that was the old style that they had, but I don't know, they might be able to make that for you if you ask them. Obviously the full bore rear, which is race cut, and we have this skin cover, which is apparently really hard to find nowadays. I've seen some on eBay, and they're like super expensive, and yeah, I mean, it's got a little rip in here. I mean, like I said, this is the trail beater. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, so just a stock grab bar, obviously. We'll go down over here. We have a nice, that's at least a 12-inch LED light bar, which is super bright. It's definitely nice. I do have it running to a battery that's in the back, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I don't have the, you know, the ground floated for the stator and everything to run it off that, but eventually I'll do that at some point. I don't really ride at night too much, so. But, you know, if I am in the woods and it's starting to get dark out, I have that light and I'm good to go. I think this is like some kind of DG style bumper, or I don't know what it is, but it's very similar. You know, it does the job. Obviously nothing too special about that. For the front shocks, we just got some Elka Stage 2s. Nothing really impressive about them. They're okay. I mean, You know, I think if you had a choice between the two, I'd rather maybe get some Pwk shocks, some Pwk floats, because they're lighter and they work really good too. We do have some nice chrome LSR sport style plus 2+1 A-arms. And I've been running those on, I actually have it on the other Banshee, which you'll see in another video. And yeah, they're awesome. They're great arms, very sturdy. Never had a problem with them. You know, we just got stock rims on here. Nothing crazy. Obviously, tire preference is really up to you. So, I mean, I'm just running with some ambush on the rear because those always hooked pretty good. And, you know, whatever front tire you really want to get. Depends on, you know, how rough your terrain is that you're riding. So, that's personally up to you. I just went with those because I kind of like how the tread pattern looked and they felt good. So, but there's a dumb ITP hole shots for the front. They said it's whatever, it's not a big deal. And now we have the sniper pipes. These pipes are fucking awesome. They are great pipes. They're expensive. You probably have to wait a little bit to get them if you're ordering a set. But like I said, they work very well on a 4mm like serval or a 4mm cub. They you know, they hit pretty good off the bottom, and obviously they rev out basically like a shearer for the most part, so it's like the best of both worlds. And they're awesome pipes. On this bike, it like picks right up, and it's fucking, it's amazing. But obviously we got that serval cylinder on there. Like you said, Redline Racing in Oregon ported it. He got me the it's hard to see in there, obviously the cool head. He did the whole motor. I just sent him cases. And yeah, he assembled everything. He jetted it, he put it on the dyno and everything. And like I said, 90 horsepower to the back tire and like 50 pounds of torque. I mean, it might be like 89, but it's like right there, right at like 90 horsepower. On pump gas, that's pretty damn good with an airbox. So. All right, so here's the actual dyno chart of the motor. And I wanted to point a couple things out to you. So if you look right around 6,000 RPMs to 7,000 RPMs. If you look at that torque curve, just from 6 to 7,000 RPMs, you basically get right to max torque, and it revs all the way out to right around 10, which is great because, you know, you could be off throttle for a little bit and you're still going to be in the torque curve, which is awesome for woods and, you know, tight type of riding. So, and obviously the more you rev out the bike, the higher the horsepower the bike is making. So on a pump gas motor that's super reliable, this is like such an ideal engine. And you can see the curve is pretty good. I'm sure with you know, pods and, you know, probably going down on the main jet one because this is kind of rich when he did it, you know, I could get some more horsepower out of it. But obviously the motor makes a crap ton of power, and it's really all you really need for woods riding for the most part. Yes, you can go bigger like a 10mm serval and you get some more out of it, but just make sure that you end up staying on a stock swing arm. We have the AC Pro Peg Nerf Bars for, you know, for trail riding, which is great. In my opinion, for the Banshee, they are probably some of the best ones that you can get. There's some other ones that are pretty good, but I personally love these ones. They are the old school ones. These are actually the first generation of the old school ones, because in the second gen of these same AC Pro Peg, you'll see that this part is no longer metal and it's nets like the other part, but then you still have this back heel guard that's metal. So that's what happens with the second gen on these. But either way, awesome pegs, and I'll show you the reason why on the other side. So the other reason why is that you have room to move the Kickstarter down. There is some other Nerf bars like the, I think it's the XFRs or whatever it is, but there's really not too much room to kick, and you really got to kick at the back of your heel on here. And which is great about this, you could just put the center of your sole, your foot, and just kick down like normal, and it works awesome. Obviously we have a lockout clutch in there to make sure this thing doesn't slip because of how much power it makes. Let's see, 35mm Pwk Carbs. which I think is probably the perfect setup for this motor, you know, especially if you're trail riding it. Yes, you can use smaller carbs too, so depending on what you want. Obviously you maybe get a little bit more gas mileage, but this will let the motor breathe good. And let's see what else. Obviously we got the aftermarket hoses, which look good. You know, a little bit of red there, a little bit of red there, kind of made it flow together. So let's see that. I do have a longer brake line on here, and you're probably like, why the hell am I running it like that? So when I take this thing to the dunes, I also have a +4 swing arm that I put on here and I change out, just because when the paddle tires that I use are pretty big and they'll end up rubbing against here. So I run a +4, it clears it, and then it keeps the front end down, you know, for the most part. Obviously you could still get the front end up pretty easily, but it's not like uncontrollable. The swing arm is a Fireball swing arm. Fireball Racing, awesome swing arm. They do top-notch work. Super good swing arms. I actually have the same exact one in +4. This one I did end up having the skid mount tabs on it, because obviously where I live, the trails are really rocky as fuck sometimes, and you know, obviously you don't want to damage your shit. So obviously we got the Elka shock in the back, which works great. And let's see, some type of different aftermarket rotor over there. I don't know exactly what kind it is, but I can't remember, but that looks pretty good. And you know, obviously we're just running stock rims on this thing, because I don't give a shit if the rims get all beat up. Probably get some different ones at some point once they're destroyed. Oh, I gotta show you the switch. So here is the switch for the light bar. I don't know if there's any battery in there. Yeah, there is. Kind of hard to see in broad daylight, but yeah, so just a little flick of the switch and it works. I do have it hooked up to a battery, which is right there, under there. You see that battery box back there that my buddy made? He custom made it, and it fits like a glove. It is like so perfect. He did such a good job. I got a little small anti-gravity battery in there because it is light, and yeah, and it fits good. Like I said, it clears the shock, as you can see. There's like just enough space, and it's so close to the frame. It's perfect. So my buddy did a great job on that, and I'm glad he was able to help me out to do that, because I am not really a good welder and he is. So thank you, Vito, for doing that. Let's see, anything else really on this bike? Of course, oh yeah, obviously V-Force 4 reeds was the best reeds out at the current time. I'm making this video. I don't think they have any 5s yet. It's all right. I am running crossover tube just for the hell of it. I mean, obviously you could get intakes without the crossover tube, but like I said, pump gas domes, and the motor's a beast, man. I really suggest, if you are going to be trail riding a motor that is at least a 4mm ported stock cylinder or higher, which I mean by a bigger motor, I would definitely suggest just running, if it's in the dirt, run a stock swing arm. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Unless you're just really doing like some serious hill climbs like 24/7, okay, then go longer. But the reason why you want the stock one is you want to get traction, because the bike's so powerful, it just ends up spinning a lot. So I noticed on my 10mm, which I'll show in another video, which is fucking amazing, by the way, that you know, it has a +6 on it, because I more use it for when I'm riding in the dunes, when I go once a year for the Banshee HQ ride. And it really needs it because it has so much power. But anyway, so let's pop this up really quick just so you can see kind of what's going on over here. Now I have 2 sources of batteries, just in case one shits the bed and I'm in the woods, so I know, like, okay, I could probably get like an hour out of that small little RC car battery. And then I could probably get, this isn't even bolted on, which is good. I could definitely get a couple hours out of that anti-gravity battery. as you can see, super tight tolerances. He did such a good job. I'm running a K9 air filter in there without the lid on, and yeah, it's kind of, it burnt the air box a bit over there, but that's quick. You can always just get into the air box and make sure I put some of that Cascade wraps on it to prevent that from burning. But yeah, like I said, using the air box, 90 horsepower. There's a lot of wires just because I have a bunch of shit going on over there. I would say I got the rectifier up here. This is JDS custom bracket. JDS, long time sponsor, good dude. And obviously, like if I wanted to plug this battery in, I just unplug that and then plug it into there. This is for the charging part, charge the battery, and obviously I have a charger for that as well. But yeah, so we'll just put these back on. And like I said, the bike rips, man. 90 horsepower to the back tires. It's a good jump from stock. I mean, regular stock, when you're running, what, maybe 35, 40 horsepower with the pipe, and you're doubling that, and then 10 more horsepower on top of that. That's a lot. And like I said, this is an awesome machine for the trails. The bike will be super reliable. I do run engine ice in there just to keep it a little cooler. I do have an oversized impeller on there, which I'm sure just helps a little bit. And oh, I almost forgot, I got a Cascade gear slimmer on there. It's a very nice shifter. It's very solid and it's a nice piece, and you could polish this thing into a mirror very quickly. So yeah, awesome bike. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it for a quick little rip. This thing rips. It will definitely do fucking... We'll definitely do fourth gear power wheelies. Yeah, this thing's great on a stock swing arm. As you can see, the bike was just power wheeling, and that was no clutch used for when it was setting the power, so kind of gives you an idea of how it is.